finished up the SoCal Precision over at Paula. It's a regional PRS competition, and I have just come back from Japan, right? So just to lay it all out there, yes, I get to do some training while I'm overseas when I'm running the urban sniper school, and I can tell you that although the marksmanship skills have not faded, right? I still get to practice wind calls. I still get to do marksmanship fundamentals, paper drills, things like that, especially while I'm with the students when we have our sustainment time as instructors. But the mental aspect of competing, that's kind of what's missing from training on a military side. So it was my first weekend back. My rifle's ready. My ammo was loaded from a previous trip home, and I'm good. Like, I feel like confident, maybe overconfident, probably overconfident. But yeah, I go into the competition, and I don't know who's going to be there. I just know that I have a lot of confidence in myself, and I'm not nervous. I'm good. I got a good night's sleep. I'm hydrated. Like, everything's fine. I know that from all my years competing that the targets are going to be smaller than what we shoot in the military, and wind calls need to be on point, all that. So I'm taking all that into consideration. And, you know, we start off on like stage 9. And stage 9, I don't want to call it a mental error because there were no mental errors. It was a pretty straightforward stage. But the first target you had to engage was through like a tree. So you had to be in a very specific spot to shoot this target through the tree. And then you start working your way to the right, and it kind of goes up a hill a little bit, which is fine. But the position that you had to be in for the first target is not the position I should have stayed in for all the other targets. And it hurt. It hurt me. I think I dropped 2 on that stage. I didn't run out of time. I missed 2 targets. And I remember shooting the first target and then panning over to the next one, trying to get stable. And you're on this like bunker of sandbags. And I remember having some vertical wobble. So I tried to tighten up, try to like build a better bone structure. And I still got this little bit of wobble I just can't get rid of. And I don't know what it is. And I stayed there. I'm like, I can take these shots. After the stage is over, I'm like, man, is that nerves? Am I nervous? But I didn't feel nervous. My heart wasn't racing. Like, none of that was going on. I had a bad position, and I didn't correct it. I don't know. I was just in the heat of the moment. The first stage, like, thinking I didn't want to time out because every stage was limited to 100 seconds. So that's, you know, you're kind of battling the clock like always. But being back in it after a year of being not in it, yeah, maybe it got to me a little bit. So after that stage, I'm like, okay, I need to settle down. Am I nervous? I don't feel nervous. Just think, just keep your head about you. It's going to be a long match. There's 9 stages. We've got 8 more to go. You didn't do that bad. You dropped 2. You shouldn't have dropped 2, but it's over. So now, walk all the way down to stage 1, and it's these weird set of rocks. And I probably overcomplicated this stage because I'm going through my pre-process. What are the target distances? Okay, got it. What is the order that we got to shoot? Okay, got it. I write it on my card, get my rifle set up. I start looking at the rocks. And what it is you got to shoot target 1, target 2, with 2 shots each from 1 rock. Then you got to move to another position, shoot target 1 or target 2, and then target 1 with 1 shot each. And then you got to go back to another rock, the same rock or different rock, your choice. And then you got to shoot with 2 more shots on each target in the same order that you started with. But the middle rock is the reverse order. So I'm thinking about all this, and I'm trying to like mentally prep it in my head, but I didn't do a great job because I dialed for the second target. The second target was closer, so I was going to dial for the second target and hold for the first target. So first mistake, I get on that first rock, take my 2 shots, and I picked a rock with a pretty decent position. Take my 2 shots, and I could see the dust kick up, and I'm like, damn, it was low. For whatever reason, I didn't believe it. I didn't adjust for it. It was just a mil low, and I made a wind correction, and I sent it again, and missed. I'm like, damn. And then I realized, oh shit, I was supposed to hold, and I didn't. And it got me. It got me good. So then move over to the next target, and it's tiny. It's what you expect at PRS matches. And you're like, okay, let's go for it. So I make the best wind call I can, and just slightly off the left. So too much wind. I'm like, okay, come back. You only get 1 shot at that target. So now I got to go for the long one. I don't get it. It's a miss. And now I change positions. Go to the first target. Miss, second target, hit. I may have timed out. I know I got 2 hits. I walked away with 2 hits out of 10. That was horrible. There's 8 points I lost right there. I mean, oh my gosh, it was not good. It was not good, let me tell you. So now, and I also chose to deploy a tripod for rear support because one of the rocks I chose was pretty tall. And I'm like, I can set the tripod up really fucking quick, and I can use that as rear support. It cost me time. Did I need to do that? Probably not. It probably would have been stable enough just shooting regular, right? And sometimes that happens. Sometimes we get into our own head and we overthink a situation, and it's just no good from there, right? So lesson number 2 was taught to me pretty quick. Welcome back to competing. So I had a crappy plan, and I had not so good wind calls, and I forgot to hold on that first target. So I'm watching other people go through, and other people are making mental mistakes, but I try not to compare myself to other people, because I try to hold myself to a higher standard, a higher level of accountability. So, okay, I'm down 8 points, 10 total. 2 stages, I'm down 10 points already. Like, I'm feeling the pressure a little bit, like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? So now I got to tell myself, don't overthink stages. Remember what the wind calls are. Like, what did you hit with? What was that telling you the mile per hour was? What does it look like downrange? Like, again, getting back into the groove of all these things that I haven't done for a year. Moved to the next stage. It's a mover stage. So I'm trying to, they don't tell us what the mover speed is. Just trying to figure it out, how fast the mover going. So what we end up doing is the method of, we did it 2 ways. We counted 1/1000s, but it's not as accurate. And then we also used a timer on your phone. So with the timer on my phone, start it when it hits the 10 mil mark. So bam, counts. And as soon as it hits the crosshair, it's traveled 10 mils. Stop it. It came out to like 3.5 seconds. So we determined the target moved 10 mils over 3.5 seconds. So we divide 10 by 3.5. We figure out what that is, and then we divide by or multiply by our time of flight. So it took my bullet like 0.4 something to get to 425, and that would tell me what my lead is for that target. That was a good stage. I want to say you had to do a mag change in between. So it was like shoot 6, mag change, shoot 6, Man, I don't know. I want to say I got an 8 on that. I know my first shot, and this is something I should probably incorporate with the military guys, because it's a good training tool to keep you not just focused on the target, but what's happening around you. And we haven't done it for such a long time, and I haven't been out to my own range in a while to put this in, right? But my very first shot, it was solid, it was a great lead, but where I put the crosshair was aimed right at one of the boards. When the target hit my trigger point, boom, I fired, and then realized my bullet's gonna go through that wooden board, and I missed. So my first shot was a miss. I'm like, damn. It's all right, shake it off. I'm on a barrel, by the way. I'm in a seated position, like an awkward seated position, sitting on a barrel, and I'm just tracking, and then I jump up ahead, settle down, and engage, right? Got a 1.4 mil lead or something like that. I dialed my wind in, so I put 0.3 left on, and that helped me not have to think about adding or subtracting wind based off the direction the target's moving. I walked away with an 8. Okay, not bad, not horrible. Could it have been better? Yeah, absolutely, right? A couple of those shots, there's just nothing I could do. Either the wind picked up, or the target was moving faster or slower at a certain point. It wasn't a consistent moving speed. So the only shot that I could have helped was the first one by not shooting in the wood. It is what it is, right? Again, just trying to get back into the groove. And then we had like a prone stage where you gotta shoot, I think you start far, and you shoot like 5 targets coming in, and then you shoot those same targets going back out. Wasn't bad. Targets are tiny, and you're changing a little bit of your angles, and a little bit uphill, a little bit left, downhill. So playing with the wind wasn't consistent, but it wasn't a hard stage, right? And ultimately shot really well on that. I think I shot out of 10 shots, I shot a 9. I could live with that, right? Not bad shooting from the prone. And then I'm trying to think the other stage. Oh, they had kind of like a modified PRS barricade. Shoot from the left, shoot from top, shoot from top, shoot from the right. And then one other random position. I think a lot of people were timing out on that. I'm not entirely sure. I know I timed out. And I think I walked away with 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, something like that. So I'm consistently, besides one stage at the moment, you know, I'm consistently in that 75-80% range of impacts, which is not good enough, right? It's not good enough. I don't feel bad. I know that I chose this competition as a let's get back into the groove, because my primary focus was Steel Safari, which is the weekend after. But still, it doesn't feel good to know that you were here and now you're competing at this level, and you know, it's tough. It's a tough, humble lesson, but it was necessary. And I even put this out on a social media post. It was necessary to have these hard lessons just force-fed to me like this. Because if it would have been a success, if I'd have showed up and just bam, 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 won the competition, then I'd have walked around thinking that nothing was wrong, and ultimately something was wrong. I was not thinking the same. My mental rehearsals weren't being executed the right way. I was forgetting holds. I wasn't judging corrections, or I wasn't making initial wind calls correctly, not understanding how the wind flew through this little valley and up this mountain. So just little things like that, and that what separates the top dogs from the top 10, right? Little things. There's some other decent stages out there, like the tank trap wasn't too shabby. Shot the tank trap, and what it was is you shoot a KYL rack. So big target, smaller, and if you miss, you don't have to start over on the KYL rack. You have to just go back to the next biggest target, but you have to move positions, and you have to be above the bolts. So your best positions are going to be on the bolts, and then any one of the top of the legs is going to suck. So your goal is to try and get through that KYL rack without missing. And I didn't do a bad job. I got all the way to target number 4, and I missed the last little guy. So now I gotta move. So I move, get up on there, feel stable, I got a good position, I'm relaxed, take my shot, miss the miss the 4th one. Damn it. So now I gotta go move another position, shoot the 3rd one, miss that one. I'm like, what is happening here? I just had the best run I could hope for, and now I can't hit a single one. So now I gotta move back to the leg. Now I'm down like 4 shots, 3 shots. Get on the leg, shoot the 3rd one, see where the impact is, make my adjustment, shoot the next one, and then I time out. So, hey, not too bad. I think I was down 4 for that stage, whatever. Again, like half of this is learning and getting back into it, and the other half is challenging myself, but trying to remember all the little nuances that I used to do that made me successful in the first place. They had a cool prone stage where you had a little slit, and you had to make sure you didn't shoot the cardboard, so you're constantly shimmying your body left and right. And yeah, I mean, it was cool. Not a hard stage whatsoever. They did have one stage where it was, I want to say it was a 15-round stage. And you had to shoot prone 3 rounds, then jump up on top of the rooftop. Like, the rooftop is angled sideways. So you just put your rifle on the top of the crown. How you do that is up to you. So I chose to go bipods. They were too wide, and it really challenged me to get a good position. And then you got to go down the side of this thing, shoot off the side, then shoot off the bottom, then run back over and shoot prone. Now, I did not make it past the middle side portion of the rooftop. I was still trying to evaluate that stage and kind of look at how could I be more efficient, where did I lose time. I saw some people got 13 hits. So there is a way to get a good amount of hits as long as you're efficient. I didn't get a lot of time to break it down. I think I was one of the last shooters, and then got to move over to the next position. Or no, I was the 2nd shooter. Yeah, that's right. I was the 2nd shooter. And then I had to get over to the next position because I was going to be first at the very last stage of the day. So I get over to the last stage. It's this weird metal contraption. Pretty straightforward stage. Shoot 2, go retrieve 2 rounds, shoot 2, go retrieve 2 rounds, shoot 2. And you just keep doing this the whole time. I grabbed my last 2 rounds. They're like, Tyler, you have like 40 seconds. And I was like, damn, I didn't realize I was moving that fast. I was still shooting good, but I didn't realize I was moving that fast. So I really took my time on those last 2 shots. Overall, I had a lot of fun at the SoCal Precision PRS match. It was a great time. I love hanging out with the people, seeing all the people I used to hang out with, shooting with the team. It was great. It was also very humbling and a very valuable lesson that I needed to bring me back to earth and make me focus, make me think about what I need to do for the following weekend, which would be a major level competition dynamic steel safari match. So on one hand, I got what I asked for. I said this was going to be a practice match, and I got exactly that. I got my ass handed to me. I ended up finishing 7th place. I know other people were like, congrats, that's really awesome for being gone, but the expectations I have for myself are just so much higher than that. So when I see 7th place, I'm like, damn, right? And then on the other side of that, I appreciate the hard lessons that I received, and I took them in stride, and I applied those lessons, and that's where I'm at, right? So, I mean, congrats to the top guy. He killed it. I mean, he did a great job, and I want to say he shot like 90%. So fantastic shooting by that guy. Some of the other guys that shot really well. Just all around, great job. But I was there for myself. And those are some of the lessons that I learned, is to make sure my mental rehearsals are there. So I do want to say, like, my process prior to the stage was spot on. I lost nothing there. One stage I had positional problem, and I feel like I corrected that. But then the mental game, right? The mental game, those mental mistakes that you make, that's where you're going to get bit in the ass the most, right? It's points that you shouldn't be losing that you are because of mistakes that you're making. And that's where I feel like I initially started with that struggle, is that not holding when I'm supposed to hold, not, making good corrections. Maybe I move off the target too fast. Maybe I stay on a target too long. I do recall certain times where I wanted to know exactly what the miss was or where the impact was. So I would go back to the target and say, okay, I held this, it was this, I got it. And that would help me, right? But that would also slow me down. Whereas if I move off the target too fast, I'd have to come back. Sometimes I would force myself to do that because I'd rather come back and measure and waste 5 seconds than to go to the next target and say, I don't know, the answer was given to me, right? Anytime I take a shot, I have the answer. Especially if I miss, I should be able to take that miss and say, this is what the wind is doing. So, it was a good match. It was nice to see some tiny ass little targets out there. I'm used to the only targets being available to us in the military side for the school that I run right now is half IPSCs, which are, what are they? I know they're 20 inches tall. I think they're 12 inches wide, and then full IPSCs, which are 39 tall and 17 wide, or some weird measurement, right? But they're big. Let's be honest, the targets are big. And it's not very helpful. It's not a great training tool when it comes down to trying to refine your precision marksmanship skills. It's just not. So it was nice to see some tiny ass little targets where you're like, damn, that target's 0.3. That's 1 minute of angle. Think about how precise your wind call has to be to hit that target. Not just once, but over and over and over again. So kudos to the guys who won. That's my experience for the first match being back in over a year. It was a good time, good learning lesson. I'm excited to share with you guys Steel Safari and how that goes. And I'm looking forward to it. Until next time, this is Tyler, and I'll talk to you later.